What do you hear? What do you say?
Welcome to Chicago, where the fire serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is the TCSF podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Yes, sir.
Episode 133 is brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your official TCSF shirts now.
This episode is also brought to you by Estrella Negra.
That's right. If you want to get some Mexican fusion cuisine, go up there over there on Fullerton and Western. Was it 2348?
Sure. I think I remember these things. The problem is that we've been going there for so long. I just know where it is. I don't sit there and be like, oh, what's the address? I couldn't tell you the address because I just pull up like it's a spot. You know exactly where it is.
Yeah, pull it up on your smartphone. Estrella Negra in Chicago. As always, I am Big Z and I'm here with my boy E-Roc. What up, E?
What's up, Z? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. If you are a first timer or a long timer, please remember to hit that subscribe button, that notify button, and go ahead and give us a review on your listening app of choice. You can find us on Facebook at True Chicago Fans. You can follow us on Twitter at True Chi Fans and on IG at True Chicago Sports Fans. And don't forget, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. Go on over there and click on support, and you can subscribe for as low as 99 cents a month. Listen, do you like the show?
I do.
Are you a fan?
Oh, yeah.
Then tell your friends, and they will tell their friends, and we can all be friends. If you enjoy the content, please share it with other like-minded individuals who like to laugh and who like sports. I mean, we kind of cover the spectrum these days. So we got a lot for we got a little bit for everybody. So even if you don't think you're a sports fan, you'll find something in this show that will make you smile.
Hey,
we had a great week, man. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm exhausted. I'm in on the Eddie train, the E-Roc train. Yeah, I've definitely been coaching all week, and we were supposed to get a storm on Friday, and it never came, so they canceled that day. So then when they got pushed over to Saturday morning,
snow got canceled.
Yeah, snow got canceled. So we got back-to-back games in the morning. So we were in the play-in tournament because there was a 4-way or 5-way tie. A 6-way tie, I'm sorry. There was 6 teams that were tied for third through whatever. They're all tied for third place. That didn't fucking matter to me. And then
if it's a 6-way, it's got to be like 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, but they're all tied, so they're still all considered third place.
Right, but I'm saying it's a tie between third and sixth. All those teams all have the same record.
Yeah. And then so we played those 2 games, and we played the same team we played Thursday night and beat them again. Ooh. Then we put a stomping on them, and then the second game we put another stomping on some other team that should not have been there in the first place. So then they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, okay, we'll play Tuesday for third place. They're like, no, that was your play-in tournament. Now you got to play to advance past third place, and your game starts at 12:30. I was like, fuck. So we're playing, and first quarters, we're having a little rough start just because they had the time off, and they were just not focused in. So we got turned it around in the second quarter, and for some reason the refs just started calling BS, straight BS on my 2 best players, my 2 eighth graders. One of them had 4 fouls after second period, and then my top star, my superstar, fouled out in the middle of the third period, and so did my other eighth grader. So I literally had my 5th grader, who was about 4 feet tall, dribbling, And pretty much he was going to the hoop and doing what he could, but, not enough talent. I only have 3 good players, really, and everyone else can't dribble or moves their feet, has happy feet when they get the ball or whatever it is, Tons of bad calls. I ended up getting a tech. I was pissed off. So I was midway through the floor, and he's like, "Get back to your coach." I'm like, "Dude, my kids are getting murdered. The little 5th grader is getting pushed around. You're not calling any calls. It's my job to protect my players." And I was trying to do it in a respectful way because there's, we had people in the stands, we got parents in the stands, and you also want to, portray a good image to your players. So, right. At some point I just lost it. I just had to keep going and going down the refs. I'm like, dude, and the parents behind me were even worse. And I know you're used to this. You're used to this because I haven't done this in a while, and I know it's like riding a bike when you're coaching, but the parent stuff, man, they were going ham. And like, I got the tee, and he wouldn't let me stand up. He's like, "No, you got to sit down, or you're gonna get kicked out of the building." And
what are you talking? That's how. Wait. Watch any basketball game. The coach is standing the whole time.
Exactly. I can't sit. I can't sit. So, yeah, the parents went in on them, and I don't know where the refs went, but they disappeared right after the game. No, they straight cheated us. My 2 top players had not had more than 3 fouls the entire season, and for them to foul out, and have 4 fouls in the first half and then foul out in the third quarter, I was like, this is total BS. Like, literally calling. They're like, "Oh yeah, he has 4 fouls." I was like, dude, you called 2 fouls on him. 2. This would be 3. And right. The table's completely wrong. And fighting the table is the worst thing you can do. It really left a bad taste. And then, my administrators were there too. So that's probably the other reason I wasn't like going ham, because I was like, all we need is somebody to film this and I go viral, and there goes my job.
Yeah, but then the show blows up.
Fuck, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I mean, that to me, that sounds like a missed opportunity, man, because, I mean, I haven't been filmed, and I think I only argued with a ref once. He was 150 years old, and he was yelling at me because I had my head on backwards.
Oh my God!
For real? I swear to God. I swear to God. So he's like, your head has to be facing forward. I says, for what?
I'm not a player.
Like, I'm just keeping the sweat on my eyes. And he's like, nope. And I was like, all right, man. And then, funny enough, so I seen this dude. I know for a fact that he's in his 80s. But then we went to my daughter's school basketball team, and she wasn't playing, but she's there. I go to pick her up. I know a lot of kids, so I'll sit down for a couple minutes. And that same dude is coaching or reffing basketball. I'm like, bro, unless you got a walker to go up and down the court, like how are you making this happen, man?
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. These 2 guys are in their upper 60s. One has fucking bifocals that, were made by the Monopoly guy.
Coke glasses.
Yeah, Coke glasses. And, he literally looked at it. He's like, in the second quarter, he's like, "Hey, coach, your team is black." I'm like, we're wearing all red. How are we black if we're wearing all red? Oh, my bad, coach. I'm like, oh, whoa. So you're senile and fucking blind. And then the other guy had 1 arm and thicker glasses. And
wait. You said 1 arm?
Yeah, he had 1 arm in a sling and 1 arm that he can hold his whistle with. So try to picture him making traveling calls. He would just blow the whistle and be like, literally rolling 1 hand with little fingers, like, "This is my good hand" from the fucking Scary Movie.
Like, bro, is this dude starting to do the Macarena in the middle of a game? The hell?
Man, it was horrible. It was horrible. Parents were going in, and it leaves. It's not for me. I don't care about the notoriety because this is middle school basketball. It's about these kids had a lot of growth over the season, and they were trying to get to the championship game, and they got cheated. And if we would have lost fair and square, I'm pretty sure my kids would have been fine with it. But you have a lot of kids and parents having a bad taste on how they end their season and how they end their middle school career.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's part of the reason why for our softball team, I mean, it's not affiliated with the school, but our park district, I says that everyone except for 1 player came back. And because it's like, okay, we want 1 more chance. We know this is the last chance for this team to be together. So I completely understand, that and that feeling of like, we got screwed out of our last chance to be able to do this thing. I totally get that, man. That's rough, man. And that's the problem is that, I actually have a friend of mine who is a ref and you know, I see him doing basketball, I see him doing baseball, softball, but he's in his like 30s, you know what I mean? But the problem is you don't see too many of those guys there. I seen a couple of real young guys. I had a guy that was probably either really late teens, like 19, or really early 20s, and he was like giving our kids the business, and he said something to one of the girls, like something like, well, if you wouldn't have missed that, you would have done this. And it was like, hold up. I'm like, I've had umps like stop the game and just like, you know, dust off the plate and like talk to the girl like, hey, calm down, you're okay. Like that's different, right? Like that's okay. You understand it is a youth sport. You're kind of, you know, you're just the closest adult to the kid. Like, hey, I see you're having a rough time. Why don't you take a breath? It's okay. It'll be all right, right? But then like you get some of them would like to spout their mouth off and like start talking smack to like, you know, children. And that's when it's useful to have big guys up there be like, hey, what are you saying to my kid, man? Don't
100%.
You better come back over here and apologize to her, because you're a child yourself. You have no right to be talking to these kids like that.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And the thing is that these refs have refed most of the games we've been playing at. Yeah. And you know, at this point, I've had a good relationship with, because like, you know, I told him like, look, I used to ref and I used to up and down the court too. So if I'm calling calls, it's because it's out of habit, not that I'm yelling at you, whatever. But you know, if I see something, I'm gonna say something. And right. You know, there was 2 egregious calls, and the back ref can literally has the same point of view, but from the opposite side of the court, from the, you know, right across. And then the ref at the baseline, he calls this play that, I mean, he calls on a play that he cannot see because of all the traffic, all the players in the lane. And I called the timeout, and I go, all right, look, my guy's getting pushed. He got elbowed in the back. He's been tripped, and my kid isn't saying anything because he knows that's my job. I'm like, I need a little help. He's like, well, that's his call. I'm like, no, it is both of your calls, because if you see it, you call it. So don't give me that shit. And I was like, you've got to protect the players on the court. It isn't about, you know, me trying to get a call. It's about protecting the kids, because if they're getting chippy, what's going to happen is my kid's going to lose his shit, and now we got a brawl.
Right.
And now we got parents brawling, and it just escalates over and over. So, and you know, he's like, no, coach, I see. And yeah, you didn't call anything in my favor or pay attention. So either way,
that's the hardest thing to kind of explain to the kids too. Like, look,
oh
hey,
God, yeah, I said that was.
You know what I mean? Because they're like, because of course in their mind they don't understand that things aren't fair sometimes, right? But I mean, in the long run, I mean, again, for my team, I was someone say, look, you're not winning any money, right? You're not winning any money if you win this game. You're playing for the love of the sport, for the pride, and to make sure that you don't let your teammates down, right? And then sometimes that actually gets into the kids' heads, because they're like, well, they freeze sometimes. Like, well, what happened? It's like, I was worried about making a mistake because I don't want to let the rest of the team down. It's like, look, if you try, that's all I can ask of you, right? You're 100%. No one's going to be perfect. You're still kids. You're learning. You don't know nothing, right? So right now, this is a learning lesson. You know, try, and you're going to fail sometimes. You're going to succeed. But when you do succeed, that's going to be so much more sweet.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, you know, the biggest thing for you or for me or any coach is that you see the progression of the player from the baseline that they had when they tried out to, you know, end of the season. You're like, oh, there's so much growth. And then they become like a close-knit family. And, you know, it just sucks that their season ended by 2 incompetent refs that leave a bad taste in not only like the family, the players, but just the organization. Like, it just feels like shit. And even the good kid, the star player on the other team was like, this wasn't really a win. He's like, this isn't a win, because he's a competitor, because he plays AAU, and he's like, and the thing is that the last time we played them, it was a close game and we lost by like 2 points. So he felt like, you know, I want to go against the best player in the league. And, you know, and I respected that. And I told the kids on their team, I was like, you outplayed a great game. Don't. The yelling that happened wasn't towards you. It was towards the ref. So you guys played a great game, and you guys weren't fair and square. And you know, good luck in the playoffs. And I even told the coach, and the coach was even like, dude, I'm so sorry. He's like, I am so sorry this happened to you. And I'm like, it's okay, man. Just give him hell. Like, I have no ill will against the other team.
I always tell the other coach, I was like, hey, just do me a favor. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, win it all.
Yeah.
Just win it all, man.
Yeah, that's
what I mean?
exactly,
Like
exactly what I
how
want
it
to
is.
do. Right. Exactly.
And that's respect between the coaches. I had a coach. I talked about this before when we won our first championship last summer. It was against a team that would always kick our ass, like 3 years in a row, just always beating up on us. And at the end, they were definitely salty that we beat them because we beat them in the championship. When the first time I seen them, when we came back around in the summer, he come up to me, he's like, "What's up, champ?" I'm like, "That's right, motherfucker." but that's the respect.
Put some respect on my name.
That's right. But then you see, you know, I mean, like, especially when you get to the point where you're not just that team that's getting beaten down. Now, okay, now the tables have turned. You respect those coaches because, I mean, you're hanging out with these guys for a couple hours, like, you know what I mean, like every, you know, couple weeks anyway. So I mean, you get to the point. I've had beers with guys over the game, you know, at the end of the game, and someone's got a cooler, talk about, hey, this kid. Our very last game of the season, because we had already won. We won enough to essentially there was no playoffs, right? So our record. No matter if we won or lost, we were gonna be number one team. They didn't have. It was a fall ball team. It was a coach that I had been coaching against for a couple of years. We had a fully loaded roster, and they were missing. They needed. They only had like 8, or I think they had 7 or 8 that were able to make it. And we took 2 of our girls and we said, "Hey, who wants to go play for the other team?" And two twins that are on their team raised their hand, and we're like, "All right, grab your stuff." And they're like, "What? Wait, what?" I'm like, "Look. This is how we're going to play a game. You guys are going to get to play. Everyone here is going to get to play. All those kids are going to get to play. We're just making up a team. We already won everything, right? It doesn't matter. So just go over there, get some at bats. Let's keep this game going for the spirit of the game."
Right, and and at that point you're playing for fun, you're playing for experience, and it doesn't really matter at that point. So, so let's move on to more positive things. Bowling. So funny enough, I finished those games and then go bowling, and I bowled well the last couple of weeks. Our team swept the last 2 weeks, which is great because we plummeted down to the bottom because every time we play somebody, man, they have the great games, but we've been doing pretty well, and I keep riding the coattails of me doing well at the tournament, which we have about 2.5 weeks. I have a tournament, and then
riding that momentum, bro. Just riding the momentum.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's just really trying not to overthink and keeping my mechanics the same, which is, you know, just like any sport, it is super hard to keep your mechanics consistent. You know, you overthink, you move this, that, whatever. But, you know, our team's been bowling pretty well the last 2 weeks, and especially not me. I'm not the anchor. I'm always the first bowler. I like to start things off. I like to be Dexter Fowler. You know, we go. So it's been fun, especially when you're winning. But it's always like bittersweet because like I deal with the basketball momentum or things, emotions, and I'm like, all right, gotta switch that off, and I gotta focus on this, you know, this game right now. And then we got that tournament downstate in where the fuck is it?
Peoria.
Yeah, Peoria. Look at you. Listening to the show.
Okay. First of all, you got to remember that I am in the group chat with y'all, which I put on mute because I'm like, I can't listen to y'all. I can't sit there and get a notification every 4 minutes about your bowling schedule, right? But every time I find a meme that's appropriate for that chat, like I definitely dump it in there. I've my fair share of Cocaine Bear memes that I've dropped into that chat.
Oh my God, that's been Steven's fucking like mantra right now with the Cocaine Bear.
I seen on SNL yesterday they had they did their Fox News parody, and they're like, "Man, Paddington 3 was really weird compared to the other ones." Like, that's Cocaine Bear.
Paddington 3, that's awesome. And then lastly, I know something kind of a story we are sharing is speaking of Estrella Negra, is us going out to Estrella Negra this past Thursday. Yep. And being able to see Martin and Hooter, right, perform at you know, our favorite establishment to eat, Estrella Negra. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. Their comedy. I think they're really good at what they do. They're really funny guys, and it was bittersweet because the back table was fucking obnoxious.
Yeah,
they came in fucking super loaded.
Yeah, and that was the thing too, is that you know, when Otto, who is the owner of the restaurant there, you know, we had a whole conversation because we go back to Lane Tech with Otto, And that's why I talk about like going there so many times. It's just it's just a natural instinct. You know exactly where it is. I couldn't tell you the address to save my life, but I'll tell you, hey, we go there right now. I know exactly how to get there in the best way, but yeah, so like I know when he was talking, we were talking after the show with him and with Martin and Hooter, who was talking about like, man, that back table was loaded. They came in already gone. So, I think what he said is that they had broken the night for either liquor or food sales on a Thursday of all time. So, I mean, that was they either broke it or it came very close. But yeah, that back table, that long table, because this is not a big venue, right?
No,
that back table was just all over the place. So that was a little rough. And but look, they roll with the punches. I mean, they're great comedians, and that's what you do. I mean, if you know how to do stage work, if you know, like, considering the fact that it was pointed out to me for the first time that you look like Pat Mahomes with your little mini Jerry Curl. I had never realized that, and I told him, like, how did you never see that? And I was like, bro, he's always wearing a hat. Like we're at sports guys. We're always wearing sports hats, right?
Yeah. My hair's all straight today, right?
He came out with that crunchy Jerry curl. And
that's
like,
so
close over here. I was so mad about. I was like, how did I never see that shit?
No, dude, it was a blast. It's a great time. So you'll get to hear more about Hooter and Martin a little later. Yeah, man. There was let me tell you something. That was a great time to go out and see them do their thing. It was a great time to catch up with Otto. Hanging out the next day, we had a great conversation with both those guys, Martin and Hooter. Let me tell you something. As much as they clowned you for looking like Pat Mahomes, they definitely clowned me. Oh man, they roasted you.
Because I got roasted in the very first 2 seconds of the part of the interview we did with them.
Yeah, it was nice. It was, instead of me getting roasted by Anthony Fuentes and Ken Gar, this was you getting roasted by Martin. So it kind of full circle there, sir.
So fast too. I mean, like that. Yeah,
within 2 seconds,
was like the quickest thing. I almost pulled the move of one of our past guests and just like threw the mic off, and I'm like, I'm not talking anymore.
Oh wow! Well,
if you that's called a callback, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you'll know which one we're talking about if you listen to the episodes.
Yeah, but look, we had a great week. My daughter, happy birthday! She just turned 13. We had a little nice little party for her yesterday. We got a party bus, and it took her and a bunch of her friends, a bunch of kids that I knew, and some that I didn't. So. The ones I didn't were kind of looking at me like, who the hell is this old scary guy? And the ones that did were making a lot of noise. And until I gave them a look, and I'm like, hey, knock it off, calm down, quiet down. And they're like, we're like in 7th and 8th grade. Like, what part of that do you think is going to be calm? And I'm like, look, so we did that. And, it emptied my bank account, but that's the life you live when you have kids. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. So yeah, I mean that was a big part of what we did this week. I also want to give a happy birthday shout out to QB1 Justin Fields. He just turned 23 or 24? He was born in 1999, so however many years ago that was, because that's so depressing. But yeah, so he just had his birthday on March 5th, and then also a happy heavenly birthday to my homie Roger. He would have been 42 this month on March 4th. He left us a couple years ago, but we still think about you every day.
That's right.
So like Z said, in this episode, we have some very special guests. It's the father and son hosts of the YoYoYo Podcast. It's Martin and Hooter Moreno. We talk about women's sports. We talk about what Kobe meant to the city of LA and much, much more. We got all that plus stirring the pot and what you looking at. But first, this is the Big Three with Big-Z.
Thanks, E-Roc. I'm Big-Z, and you're not. Now for today's story, we'll start out with story number 1. Oh, man.
Good start.
That's right. Good start.
Good place to start.
Yeah, man. I mean, you could be Steven and start with story number 3. Story number 1. A funeral home worker was startled when a dead woman starts breathing.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. And this is funny because Hooter and Martin were just in Iowa right after seeing us. Des Moines, Iowa, a care home in Urbandale, Iowa is being fined $10,000 by the state, the maximum fine allowed by Iowa law, after declaring one of its residents dead and transferring her to a funeral home where she was discovered to still be alive. According to the reported citation, the 66-year-old resident was admitted to Glen Oaks Alzheimer's Special Care Center in 2021 and diagnosis including early onset dementia, and was later moved to hospice. Wow, this is insane. She was mistakenly declared dead on January 3rd at 6 a.m. after a staff member could not feel a pulse and said that was not breathing at the time. She felt the resident had passed away and notified a nurse who made the death declaration. Wow. So you have a nurse and a staff member. After 90 minutes, the woman has been declared dead. She was taken to the funeral home in a zip body bag. And when she arrived at the funeral home, the staff unzipped the bag and observed the resident's chest moving up and down as she gasped for air. Yeah, this is some Twilight Zone shit.
So, they one of the things that I've always heard is that, there's always a few bad apples in a bunch. There's certain professions where you cannot have a bad apple. I would say probably a doctor is one, except for that one kid in Florida who kept telling everyone he was a doctor, even though he's like 19. A cop is another one because, look at the climate of the
Yep.
But nurse is another one. Number one, though, has got to be pilots. That's going to be the number one job where you can't just have a bad day. But yeah, this is a bad day for all of professional healthcare.
Oh man, this is insane. I mean, that's probably one of the worst feelings, right? You wake up and you're in a fucking body bag. You're like, what the fuck, dude? I was taking a nap. I was watching Matlock and I was taking a nap.
And that's how you get a zombie, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. All right, story number 2. A woman is accused of running over her boyfriend with a car after he ate her fries.
No, well, that's.
Let me just tell you, if you've had a significant other, and I'm talking to the gentleman here, you know damn well that if you pick up some food and you call her and you say, "Hey, do you want something?" She says no. You pick up some food for her regardless. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because either one thing's gonna happen: either she's gonna eat up half of your food, and she's gonna say she wasn't hungry, or she's gonna be pissed you didn't bring her one, or whatever you brought. So just bring the food, and you won't get run over by a car. Simple as that.
Oh man, look, I remember when I was a little kid, probably like 10 or 12 one time, we had got some Popeye's chicken, that basket of the Cajun fries. And it was like, all right, the chicken's on the food is on the counter, right? And it was that was our family meal that night. And we're waiting for dinner and like everyone was like, all right, come on. Like, let's go. And as I'm walking past, I take a fry and take another fry. And every time I walk past, I'm hungry, right? I'm like, where's my chicken? And by the next thing you know, I ate the whole thing of fries. And they're like, where are all the fries? And I was like, I was hungry. So I started, and I didn't get no damn chicken. They're like, well, you ate all the fries. You don't need no chicken. I was like, son of a bitch. And that's called parenting in the 80s, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. All right. So the story, according to the man, the couple were driving through North Alda. I can't even say the name of this town on Sunday, and he picked a French fry from his girlfriend's chicken and salad order. This act witnessed by Harrison, who allegedly ordered her boyfriend to exit the vehicle before running him over with a car. She pleaded not guilty to aggravated endangering life. Harrison argued that she was taking her partner to the hospital because he wasn't feeling well at the time of the incident. Well, no shit, she fucking ran him over. How is he supposed to fucking feel?
Hey, that's muscle memory. You just know exactly where you're going, and you just go.
Wow. Yeah, she said she hit the accelerator by mistake. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Blind rage by mistake.
Yeah. Those fries must have been really fucking good. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm saying, where were these fries from? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm trying to figure out the restaurant.
McDonald's fries.
No, not McDonald's fries. They were like truffled fries or some shit. They look good.
Loaded. It's the loaded nacho fries from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it! You knew I was constipated.
Wow, that's another shot at Steven. He loves that Taco Bell.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, he brought that Taco Bell to the.
I still can't. Twice he had to do it.
I wonder what he ate all that Taco Bell the first time because we weren't there. All right, story number 3, and well, you're gonna have to try your luck at this one. An 18-year-old wins the $48 million lottery on their first. Yes, an 18-year-old wins the lottery, $48 million with her very first lottery ticket. Oh wow. This is in Canada. Juliette Lamour from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, had never bought a lottery ticket in her life. After she just turned 18, on the advice of her grandfather, she plucked down a couple of the bucks and got a lottery ticket. And she won $48 million, become the youngest person in Canadian history to hit a jackpot.
What does that equate to in real money?
$12.
Yeah. Inflation, baby.
Yeah. She had no idea what she was doing. She bought the ticket. She said she had no idea what she was doing. She just turned 18 and said, my grandfather suggested I buy a lottery ticket just for fun because I turned 18. She went to the store, went to ask. She's like, I don't know what to ask for, but can I have a lottery ticket?
Excuse me, can I get a scratchy lottery ticket, please?
Yeah. And she did the quick pick, so she didn't even pick the damn numbers.
It was a drawing.
Yes.
It wasn't a scratchy.
No, not scratch off. It's for a lottery ticket. Just she's like, I don't know, whatever. Just give me something. And
that's
she
just
won.
dumb luck.
Yeah. That's
straight up dumb luck. But that's one of those things that's like a rite of passage. It's like going to, like, you're officially 21. You go to the bar the first time. Do you remember? Your 21st when the first bar you went to, like, legally?
Oh, legally? First bar? Actually, probably not really.
You were 21?
21. You know what? I think my first official drink at 21 was probably at a club, probably at 720 or something like that. I used to like going dancing every week, man. This is when the hips didn't lie.
We went to B-Dubs when it used to be in Lincoln Park. On Lincoln right there. It was one of the first B-Dubs that were in Chicago.
Yes.
And this was like, this is a long time ago because I'm 21 twice now. So and there was another place called like Slow Down, and it was basically where all those fancy, it was like off of like Claiborne by where the Salt Shack is now, the Morton Salt. There was a little spot over there that you could literally hold up to, but we used to go in there and just mess around. And I remember getting shots on my 21st and all that. Yeah, I'm 21. Oh, he was a shot. Yeah, that's the two. I don't remember the rest of the night, but I just remember the free shot. And then going, what was the other one? It wasn't B-Dubs actually. It was the Gin Mill or something like that. It was right there, but because we eventually became regulars at there was a bar called, I think, Lucille's right there. And my guys would DJ in there. I brought my brother in there when he was like 17. So that was clever.
I'm trying to think. It might have been the Bra House, because I've been going there since I was like 17. So I think when I turned 21, it was at the Bra House over there in Lincoln Square.
No, it was just Lincoln Park, not Lincoln Square.
No, for me, Lincoln Square. Oh, the Bra House over there. That's no longer there. But yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that's a long time ago. It's hard to remember what we did 21 years ago.
It's hard to remember what I did yesterday. Are you serious?
It was softball, sir. It was softball.
Yesterday was probably. Yesterday was the party.
Oh,
today was softball.
Yeah. At some point, it's just a blur, man. It's just a blur.
Oh man.
All right. I'm Big Z, and that's news to me. We'll be right back with Hooter and Martin Moreno after the break.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to No War on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big-Z and E-Roc.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Oh, yeah.
We're coming to you live from Estrella Negra in our first ever remote recording.
We already got these guys cracking up already.
All right. What happened? Where's the two dudes that were sitting here right now?
Yeah,
All of a sudden, we're the morning wacky zoo.
We're talking about the sports show.
We already.
When we talk Chicago football.
Stay tuned for Blizzard Watch 2023. California is a lot snowier than Chicago. All right, let's take a break, guys.
Turned into a morning show at 9:41 p.m. Bro.
What happened?
Your last
What
podcast,
happened?
you were talking about the weather the entire time, so shut the fuck up. All right?
Yeah, but in his normal voice, not the wacky zoo.
Dude, you introed the names and then my man was like, yeah.
Here we are, live on our first remote.
That's true. This Sunday night at WrestleMania.
Sunday.
That's right. Friday, thank you. Friday.
What happened to your real voice? No, we are on the podcast.
That's right,
This is
baby.
what I sound like.
Hell yeah. Hey, man, I say I'm on the phone all day for work. So, I mean, you got that voice that you got to project to
I
make
get
sure
it.
they hear you.
I get it, brother. We're just.
Oh, man.
Oh, that
All
was
right, ladies
awesome.
and gentlemen, with us today, you know that. I can't even introduce him.
Oh no, yeah, you can.
Oh, man.
Use your voice, bro.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Hit us with the podcast voice.
Friday. All right, you know them from being two of the funniest comics in the game today, and you know them from hanging out with the big man himself, Gabriel Iglesias, a.k.a. Fluffy. It's the father and son host of the YoYoYo Podcast, Martin and Hooter Moreno over here already giving me the business. What's up, y'all?
Oh, dude, thank you for having us, and we're just busting your balls.
That's what it's
Listen,
for.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how como se dice, family friendly you guys keep it here. I don't know if I said busting your balls and it's like, hey,
there's no rules, sir.
watch your mouth, cabron. I don't know what I can and cannot say. I don't know what's toxic.
No,
I don't know
no
what's
restricted plate on you, sir.
Okay, perfect. Let's go. Ya dijiste, cabrón.
That's right. Vámonos.
Otto's like, not too crazy, motherfucker. I still got to sell food. Bro.
We got customers up in here, bro. We're gonna hear
I don't know about their podcast rules, bro, but we got rules in here.
Yeah, we got motherfuckers eating enchiladas still.
Oh, we're gonna get Dundee with dirty looks now.
That's right. Yeah, that's true, man. But hey, look, the food is so good you don't even notice anything else going on. I mean,
Yeah, shout out to Estrella Negra, dude. Their menu is
Absolutely.
incredible. Big props to Otto because he's kept this going for now, 14, 15 years?
Yeah.
He's about to have the Estrella Negra quinceañera coming up, bro. I don't know if you guys want to sign up to be chambelanes or not.
You guys are padrinos, bro.
You guys are padrinos,
right?
homie.
That's what's up.
But yeah,
Yeah,
14 years to keep a restaurant afloat is especially surviving the pandemic. A lot of places did not survive the pandemic.
Relationships didn't. not even businesses, but just relationships.
Dude, just
bro.
people, you know.
Motherfuckers doing puzzles and shit at home.
Oh,
Start
dude,
fighting after. Where the fuck is the middle piece?
Just family bonding, bro. Just like, all right, we're gonna make this 2,000-piece puzzle. Everybody, let's go.
That
Put
lasted
down your
about a
phone.
Be happy.
that lasted about a week.
Yeah, be happy. Dude, how did you guys do through the pandemic, man? I mean,
Well, we started a fucking
We
podcast.
started during
during
the
the
pandemic.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. We run a sports page, and what ended up happening is he makes all the graphics. So he made a meme after the Last Dance came out of the only man to beat Jordan one-on-one, which is a security guard who had beat him at quarters in the back room. And the guy goes like this.
He gives the Jordan shrug.
The Jordan shrug, you know? And he made the meme, and then it blew, it got good traction. And this guy hits us up. He's like, hey, that's my dad. We're like, fuck you. That's not your dad. And sure enough, he's like pictures after pictures that, like Gus, the other security guard, that's my padrino.
Oh, wow.
And he just, I'm like, well, hey, well, he's like, hey, can anybody do a blog or
So
interview?
Once he reached out after we made that, right? I'm like, we got something here. We got to take advantage of it, right? Because it was just like we were just a bunch of dudes sharing like Chicago sports stories and talking shit about, hey, Cubs suck, Sox sucks, whatever it is, right? But the idea of the page was like it didn't matter who you were a fan of. We're gonna support Chicago sports no matter what here, right? So it didn't matter what team you root for. And as it came down, we were trying to figure out how to add more content, especially during pandemic. So when that dude hit us up, I was like, we got to interview him. We'll figure out if it's going to be a blog or we're going to do a podcast that we talked about doing for a long time. Yeah. And he literally the first episode is his recorded phone call with this dude, the son of the John Michael Wozniak.
No way.
Yeah. That is awesome, bro.
Yeah. And so I had my iPad and my phone recording the audio. And that's all and then what I did. And then I had to learn how to do editing by myself. Bro, it sounds horrible.
The Last Dance was, man, it came at such a perfect time, bro. It was sports for everybody during that time.
Everyone stopped what they were doing. They're like, oh, Last Dance is on. We got to go watch it. Whatever, this episode's coming up.
Even so, if you were a sports fan, that's what you had to fall back on, right? Because there was nothing else going on. But also, if you weren't a sports fan and you just you watched it, and because even if you're not a sports fan, there's some names that are bigger than the sport.
Yes. Correct.
And definitely Michael Jordan is one of those names, right?
He transcends everything.
Dude, there's people that wear his shoes that never watch the goddamn game, right? But they still know what Jordans are, right? It's still a phenomenon. He transcends. He's bigger than Tiger Woods is another example of that, right? So when you have the story and it's documented and the footage that they captured, holy shit, it was so personal, so real, so raw.
And they filmed it with the intention of it being the last dance. They all knew that the last chance for romance right there. Top it off, get the second 3P, get your 6 championships, and right out into the sunset.
Bro, you guys have sucked since then, but goddamn it, what a run. What a goddamn run.
This is true. This is true. As the Bulls lost today.
I know, dude. Team. They got it down to 7 and they fucking lost.
They had the lead. They had the lead before you walked in.
To be fair, they're usually up by 20 and lose.
Yeah.
Okay, so this time at least they were behind and lost.
Oh, but that three-peats, those 2 three-peats are just like phenomenal.
What was your perspective on that? Because you got not from Chicago, but what was your perspective on that?
Of course, it was one of those. For me, it was one of those. Almost like the Tom Brady effect, where like I hated Tom Brady for so many years, right? Yeah. Like, the one time that the Raiders had a chance to win it all, and they should have won it all, and then they did that goddamn tuck rule, and they lost, and then the Patriots went on to become Super Bowl champs after 9/11, right? That's cool. And I hated Tom Brady, and I couldn't stand Tom Brady, and then the last few years, I'm like, wait a minute, man, like. I've got the opportunity to watch this fucking guy who's literally the greatest of all time as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I changed when he went to Tampa and won. When he won in Tampa.
Is that when he won you over?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Because he won without Belichick.
And then I also realized, like, why am I hating this guy? I should be appreciating
the greatness
that I got to see, not in highlights, not in remember when, but in real time. I'm watching this dude do things that have never been done before, make history, make record. And I think the same thing, I was able to see that with Jordan early on, where it's like, okay, this isn't a regular dude. Had Bo Jackson not gotten hurt, God knows what would have happened in his career, right? And there's some athletes that you just watch and you're like, this is an incredible, incredible human being. That, Kobe Bryant was the same freaking thing. Tiger Woods, same. Whether you're a fan of golf, what the Serena sisters were able to do. Whether you're a fan of tennis or not, you just have to recognize the individual from making it a bigger thing. Than the sport.
Like I didn't start watching tennis till the sisters started playing, really, because you knew all about Nadal and Sampras and you knew about them, like it's on Sports Center. But when
McEnroe,
McEnroe. When the sisters started playing, like, man, these girls are fucking dominating.
Dominating like beasts.
Like they had to play each other because there was nobody else.
Right.
Like,
Right.
but how do you do that?
I
Like,
mean, and the other thing too is, you know what I mean? Like, it comes down to representation. You never seen anyone that looked like that do
That
that
too.
before.
You had
And-
Arthur
and-
Ashe.
Yeah.
before,
Yes.
but again, it wasn't
Right.
nowhere near. And these were two women,
Yes.
which made it even that much more,
Yes.
incredible.
That helps to bring like women's sports to the spotlight, and we've talked about that quite a bit on the show.
yeah, we did.
We try to do it, we're actually talking about the WNBA earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a show about the WNBA, and the guest we had on got upset about our perspective.
What's your perspective?
Uh-oh.
You toxic motherfucker.
That's right.
It was really more about the announcing and their I says, do more attractive female announcers get a easier shot, and that turned into this whole thing, and I'm like, it's not about, I'm asking you as a woman, what do you think about that? And it kind of went sideways, and I was like, all right,
Well,
man.
yeah, because you look at who's the sideline announcer for the NFL? Pam
Oliver.
Pam Oliver.
Yeah.
She's been there forever.
Right.
She's a good-looking woman, but she knows her shit.
Right, and that was our point. We're like, their big one's Holly Rowe, and I'm like, yes, she's very good, but I mean, you look at her, not to say that she's not as beautiful as someone else, but I'm saying like someone who's gets more attention than her. Is she getting it easier? You know what I mean? Does she get an easier road in announcing sports because of
Man,
that?
I think if
You know
you're
what I mean?
good, like, look, John Madden was the best.
Right.
Wasn't the most pleasant guy to look at.
But that's the difference.
But
Is that women have a different. You know what I mean? That's what I'm.
But
that was the
but they
whole
shouldn't.
argument.
It shouldn't be different.
I don't disagree.
It shouldn't be different. And
I do
that's
think
and
sometimes they put in a hot chick there.
for just to put her in.
I mean, Hooter watches the Weather Channel just for the hot chicks on Channel 66, and you know what we see.
Dude, every once in a while there's a weather chick trying to talk about sports, and it just doesn't go. Yeah, she's hot as fuck, but
Listen, when I first started, when dispensaries first showed up in Los Angeles, and you could go in there to buy weed, all the dispensaries had these chicks dressed in like bikini tops, short shorts.
Like
and
it was a car wash?
Dude, I want somebody. I want Cheech and Chong back there.
Yeah.
I went to go buy truffles in Amsterdam, and the dude in the back, I mean, he gave me a freaking detailed explanation.
Yeah.
I want somebody that knows it. I'm not a chick that gets high and looks hot, and now I want to put her in my goddamn booth. You go to any weed festival, it's the same thing. You
Yeah.
get these hot chicks that know the product. It's one thing. I mean, I don't care how hot you are. You got to know the product, and that was my point again. Like, where somebody like Madden, Howard Cosell. I'm dating myself crazy, but this guy,
one of the great voices.
one
of
of
course.
the great voices.
Muhammad Ali.
Dude, every comedian did an impression of this guy,
Yeah.
right? For you guys had the dude for the Cubs. Who's the guy that did the Cubs? Fucking famous.
Oh, right.
always.
Harry Carey.
Harry Carey,
Yeah.
thank you. Just one of them again transcended. Vince Scully
right.
for the Dodgers,
yes, 100%,
transcended.
yeah.
And there's a Chick Hearn for the Lakers. My
Yes.
God, another legend.
Well, and the thing is that that's kind of what we were trying to convey, that you can obviously be recognized for your talents, but the question that we asked is that, does that pretty girl get an easier chance? And she kind of went off the rails, and I'm like, it's a question. I want your perspective as a woman.
And what do you mean she went off the rails? She just got.
she was
she
not
got-
happy.
she got-
You're trying to
kinda-
mansplain.
Yeah.
That's
She
pretty much,
eventually
yeah.
just sat back in a chair and didn't want to answer any other questions. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how it ended. Yeah.
Yeah. It was her and her wife.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was a fun interview.
So let's talk about let's talk about a lighter topic.
No. Let's talk about women's rights. It's it's Women's History Month. You
That's
know
it,
that.
sure is.
Hey,
It's March.
Let me tell you something.
wait,
And they're all
you
gonna
guys
march.
didn't know that?
no.
You guys weren't aware?
We were at the show yesterday. We talked about it.
Every other living thing in my house is female.
That is true.
Okay.
Okay. I have a 13-year-old,
Okay,
a
you
4-year-old.
just sound like a
married
dude
for
that
10
said, "I
years
have a
and
black
couple
friend."
kids.
He is my black friend.
No, it's all good. I could say those things
Keep
about
going, bro.
chicks.
Just keep digging that hole.
I could say things about hot chicks, bro.
He's over here handing me a shovel.
Go on.
So go ahead, bro.
You tell us how you have women in your life. That means you're not sexist. My mom was a woman. I love her. She cooked great. Kept the house clean. Canceled.
So go ahead, tell us, bro.
That's it. I'm gonna sit back in my chair and sulk the rest of the show.
Oh, wow. Good callback already.
Oh man, listen, you funny motherfuckers, man.
Nah,
Yeah.
dude, I do think hot chicks get a little bit. It's easier. Obviously, it's easier.
Yeah.
Why is
and
the
hot guys too.
It does. Yeah, when you're a hotter dude, when you're a hotter chick,
You're
things are
easier
just
to look on
easier.
TV. That's the whole point of TV, to watch something that's attractive
you
or
don't want to
something
watch
that's
some
engaging.
busted up dude, you know what I mean, or busted up chicks. Who wants that?
Hey, listen, you don't see John Elway calling games?
Oh God,
Oh no.
Jesus.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Terry Bradshaw's still out there.
He is, but there's something
But
about
he
him.
beat cancer.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
He beat something. Some sort of sickness that should have taken him out.
That motherfucker beat the 70s.
Sir, you get a pass. You made it to the 70s. Here's your
They're
pass.
good.
Wow.
So all right. No, we're talking about the WNBA now. So you think it's the announcers that are slowing down the growth? That's slowing down the growth of the sport?
No, I just think that the women in general want to progress the WNBA, but they don't support it. You don't support your own sport. I for the Sky, for the last playoff run, I attended all the games
For the WNBA?
Yeah, I went to see the Chicago Sky, and it's downtown at Wintrust Arena, and I went for every single one of those playoff games and a couple games during the season. And that's why I was able to talk on this topic, because I'm a first-hand person watching the game, and I know who the GM, who the coach is. I know the players,
And
I
it's
know
not a packed house.
no way. No. There's maybe 8,000. No, not even 5,000 people, if that.
5,000 people.
Yeah, it seats 12,000.
See, you see, and that's if you can't
And
put
most-
asses in seats,
And
then-
most of those
then
tickets
it's
are
not-
free.
Oh,
Most of those tickets are free because I got my tickets for free.
interesting.
Playoff
Now,
tickets?
Playoff tickets for free.
now you went to a WNBA game,
I
For
did.
the Sparks.
and
Yeah, I went to the Sparks game.
Oh,
and how packed was it?
Not packed.
where do they play at?
Crypto. Same place that the
Oh.
Lakers play.
Oh, that's a huge arena for them.
Yeah. But
That's
they,
what-
they don't seat the whole thing.
No,
It's
they
like-
seat the bottom level. That's it. Yeah. No, these girls have their own arena that's shared with the college teams.
I thought it was whack because the dude there, they have like a DJ there.
Oh yeah, there's a DJ.
Why?
Yeah. Oh, there's literally a DJ just
Why?
ready to play for everything. Everything. Yep.
And they get everybody on the Jumbotron and fucking dance, get up and dance. And you're like, dude, let me watch the fucking game, guy.
Yeah. During the
If
game.
I wanted to dance,
during the
I would
game.
have gone to a place to dance. I'm here to watch fucking basketball. Why are you making me dance? Leave me alone, bro.
You didn't want to show your muscles either?
No. I think it's one of those you're compensating. Like, hey, come in here. It's a fun time. You're gonna have a good time. You're
Yeah.
gonna have a good
Yeah.
time.
Trying to-
blah blah
trying
blah.
to fill the
but
void,
the
I mean,
game
like,
itself
yeah.
should be enough, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, they do that in the NBA. Like, if you go to NBA games, like they got the lady like up on the unicycle, like 8 feet tall.
To that
like, throws-
extreme, though?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Nah, that's what, like
halftime.
halftime.
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. But they're always
yeah.
throwing the T-shirts.
No, but
the
these guys are playing the whole
popcorn.
time. This DJ.
Yeah.
No, they're playing during
Oh,
the
they're
game.
playing during the game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes,
different,
bro.
That's different. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
no, no,
aggressive.
no. A halftime show's a
That's like
halftime
interrupting
show.
my shit.
That's
You're
what
interrupting my shit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, we actually on our podcast have talked about the women's soccer team.
Okay.
The US, they don't get no respect.
None. They
No, never.
way more successful, way more
Oh, yeah.
talented,
And they're not
way
getting the money.
more shit than the men's team has ever dreamed of doing.
Right.
And they don't get the props they deserve. They get shit on.
Yeah.
They,
They
get,
get
shit
shitty
on.
accommodations.
Quite a. I
They
mean,
don't
like,
get the equipment.
Every time you heard about Hope Solo, it was always a bad thing.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
with Megan Rapone, it was a bad.
And you got that
they
other
were
asshole
afraid
that
of her
bites
being
people.
gay.
You got the
Right.
biter guy from fucking was Honduras or where the hell's he from? The guy that bites everybody.
I don't know, but Hope Solo was fucking people up.
She was, but you never
Yeah,
said
her
like
husband.
It was never like soccer superstar Hope Solo. It was like, hey, it's that broad. It was like,
Yeah.
y'all
Crazy
are
Hope Solo.
Yeah, like what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
hope she's not crazy
Oh,
today.
it's Crazy Hope Solo again. Yeah.
Nah, bro, she Rihanna her fucking husband, dude. She fucked him up.
I mean, yeah. The women's sports, especially the U.S. national team, has been killing year after. I mean,
Yep.
year after year
after year.
and
Yeah.
they get no recognition.
Like forever, not just like like 20 years. I mean,
No.
me and him, and
Yeah,
sliding
I
on the
remember
knees.
me- yeah.
Yeah, forever.
Dude, that's such a long time to be winning and dominating and just nobody gives a fuck.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Like, what else do we have to do?
What,
yeah.
we got a mouse in your pocket? What else do we have to do?
I stand with them, guys. I don't know about you guys.
I'm an ally.
I'm an ally.
Where's your pink hat?
I have a daughter. I have a fucking a wife. I have a mom, so I can talk about this. It's me.
I set the precedent. That's
It's
why.
us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no. Listen. I think I would love to, but again, if you're not generating income, you know,
It's tough.
it's tough. It's
bro.
a tough
It
sell.
doesn't matter the business.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter
You
at
know,
all.
some of the people doing the most humanitarian shit to fix the planet are not getting paid for it. Most of that is from the heart, volunteer, and there's no compensation there. And it's not because people don't want to. It's because it doesn't generate income. And if you if you're comping most of those seats, you got to turn on those lights. You got to pay employees. You got to pay those salaries.
I'll say it goes down to the root level because I'm going to talk about my wife and daughters again, right? I'm going to go back to that because I'll tell you why. It's because I coach my daughter's softball team for like 8 years now, right? And the people that show up for those games are way less than like a terrible like 6U baseball team. Like granddaddy comes from like Iowa to come watch them. But like our team that literally won everything, it wasn't until we're like in the playoffs where like relatives and grandma and grandpa start showing up. Mom and dad were always there. Okay, that's because you got to bring them. Mm-hmm. But like that big group of relatives that show up for every game, that doesn't happen. And we were we dominated. We won everything we did last year. And it was until we got championships and playoffs where you saw like a lot of people.
What age group is that?
12U and 14U. Yeah.
I mean, look, and it's shitty because you're right. Nobody even talks about softball.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love watching softball.
Nobody gives a fuck about softball.
Yeah.
You know, baseball is
right.
It's big.
And that's why is because there used to be a Major League Softball, which is there's not anymore. What they have now, they actually play over here in near O'Hare at Rosemont. Is they have this thing called Athletes Unlimited, and what it is basically fantasy softball. It's a pool of about 40 players, and like, okay, you girls are on the purple team this week, you're on the white team, you're on the yellow, you're on the blue, and they just play each other, and they get individual stats, and then the next week they just switch them up and I'll throw them on different teams all over again, right? So it's just pick up games every week because you only have enough to roster 4 teams. You can't just play round robins constantly. So what you do is they're tracking the stats of individuals, and that's how they figure out who the MVP is, who's the champion, who's this, who's that. If there's no team awards in that system, but it's literally fantasy softball.
It's a cool concept.
That is.
It is, but I mean,
and it keeps it going at least, you know.
And what it does is it allows you to be a fan of an individual, right? But my point is that there's not enough big enough league to actually have enough teams. That
again, if you could sell tickets,
right.
you could sustain it. But
of course.
You know, and I mean, I don't know how long has the WNBA been around. Do you guys know?
20,
25.
I think it was 20 or 25 years. I think it's 25 years they just celebrated.
25 years. How long was the NBA around before that? Because they didn't get put on the map until Larry Bird and Magic Johnson kind of took it to another level.
Yeah, because
before that,
that's well. You got to remember too. Is
so
like
but how long
when
did
you're
the
coming
league,
around to cable TV?
But how long did that league exist?
A lot shorter than other ones.
Yeah,
the 40s maybe.
So that would be to the freaking late 70s, early 80s.
Right.
So you're looking at 40 years.
Yeah.
Right.
So WNBA.
So 30 years.
1996.
So the WNBA 96. That's not even that's not even 30 years
It's
old.
still your infancy when you consider it a sport.
When you look at it, when you think about how long it took the NBA to blow up, because before that, it's not like they had monster salaries.
1946.
There you go. Yep. So and they didn't blow up until I would almost venture to say, and it's debatable, but I would say early 80s. It's when it got put on the map.
When you had the Bad Boys and the Celtics.
Well, it's
the
also
Celtics and you had Magic versus Bird.
They also weren't showing live games. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. You have to watch it. You had to watch it like at midnight or some shit.
Right, and you knew who Bill Russell was. And you knew who Will Chamberlain was. But
that was it.
Right,
and
that's what it is.
And so again, these
all
guys,
those championships, and no one knew who the hell they were.
When these guys came out of college, and you had that Laker Celtic rivalry, and it became on it went. You know, and Jerry Buss had a lot to do with that shit. Yeah. You know, he had a vision to make it sexy, right? But when you think about it in that time frame, you know, the WNBA is another 10, 15 years away from blowing up.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
If it goes in the same pace.
It's subsidized by the NBA, though, by
Sure.
most of the teams. So that's where they get most of their money, which is, I think that's a good thing to do. I think it's a good thing to do.
We're good guys.
That's what we do.
It's what we do.
So you brought up Jerry Buss.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the not quite a documentary that on HBO?
That
the Winning
was
Time?
sick.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
So sick.
Yeah.
It was dope.
And I don't
casting
think
was amazing.
I think that maybe people were upset at some of the shit that came out, but I think that it was probably not too far from the truth.
Yeah.
I think every show needs to get somewhat exaggerated, right?
Of course.
That's just
I
part
mean,
of the deal.
you have
also,
to-
who's going to remember after all that cocaine?
It's a lot of cocaine, bro. I thought it was beautifully done, and it captured what was going on at that time. Like
Right,
if you
right.
like when if you were alive during that time, I was very very young, but I remember the 70s. I remember the 80s.
Yeah.
I remember the transition from 79 to 1980. 1980 was just this. It was almost like, the phenomenon of the 2000. You know?
Okay.
There was just this fascinating, the 80s. There was something about it, right? That was magical. And I feel the 2000s were the same
Cocaine.
thing. Yeah, cocaine and a lot of other things, right? And so when he saw that and he did that, that show captured a lot of that, como se dice, that vibe, that the essence
The essence of
what
the
pe-
80s, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
man, it was fantastic.
Well, and it was the thing is that, like you were saying, is that a lot of people were upset about this, that, or whatever. I says, listen, when I get a cup of coffee, I put sugar in it, right, to make it better, right? That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
They just like, hey, this is the base story. Here's some sugar and cream, make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was, and a lot of that shit I didn't know, and when you got that guy that got because dude, Vegas was run by the mob. Vegas was run by the mob.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that dude was, he paid the price.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there was the rumor that Jordan paid a price too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he took his sabbatical to go play baseball.
Yeah.
That rumor is still
I
out
mean,
there.
and his dad. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, no one wants to talk about it because no one wants to,
You don't
throw
wanna
a rock
tarnish
at
Jordan.
the goat. Yeah,
Right.
you don't want to tarnish your hero. But you look at the man was a compulsive gambler.
Yeah.
And the rumor was that he owed some debt in Vegas, and they're
Yep.
like, well, you're going to pay up. And he said, F you, I'm the GOAT. I'll pay you when I pay you. And
Damn.
then, that's what
Because, I
happened.
mean, the other story was about him cutting his finger with a cigar cutter, a guy that smokes cigars all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, bro, they might look alike, but that's your finger. Yeah. You don't cut, you know what I mean? That was the other thing. It's like, Bookie came and says, all right, let me see that finger. Give me that cigar cutter and snip.
Mm-hmm.
So that, it was a lot of
Like,
lot
you
of
need
stuff
your
around.
hand to shoot, don't you?
yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, that makes
Crazy,
sense.
bro.
That's scandalous, man.
So-
listen, everybody has their little story. They were talking about
Yeah.
Puig had a debt.
Oh,
Take
yeah.
care of,
Oh, yeah.
and then a lot. I remember when Fernando Valenzuela, when he lost his first game, and then because he had gone like 6 or 8 straight when he first started, and then he lost, and it's like lo tiene amenazado la mafia. Mexicans are the biggest conspiracy theorists, bro. Immediately, like amenazado. The fuck?
After one loss,
Yeah.
like God forbid he has an off day, like dude,
Dude was hungover. Leave him alone.
his arm was sore that day.
Yeah, and back then they used to pitch all game, bro. Nobody get like pitch count. What pitch count? These motherfuckers went extra innings. They still in there.
150 pitches, easy.
Dude. You were gonna say something and I cut you off. My bad.
No.
you're
I
good.
mean, like, I'm just, we always talk to Chicago sports people. We've had a bunch of comedians out. We have Mikey O. We had Ken Gar. So we don't get to talk national sports with people a lot, right? And I feel lucky to have some LA guys in here because I do want to talk about Kobe because we in our perspective, I remember hating Kobe when he got that 5th championship because I'm like, oh shit, you can't get 6, bro. Please don't get 6.
Tugging on Superman's cape
please.
there.
You know what I mean? And he did it by with Phil Jackson as his coach and everything like that. And our generation, we loved everything we did was Jordan. We got to wear his shoes every time we take a shot. Jordan, And when we talk about appreciating Tom Brady after, before he's gone, I think some of that comes from Kobe passing away. And like, damn, like I hated him, but I appreciate him way more now that he's passed, which sucks.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, and the reason I bring him up because I want to get your perspective of what he meant to LA because we just don't know that as much here. But I'll tell you the reason why that hit me so hard because the way that I thought it was just it's a guy who is taking his kid to a game, and that's what I do, 6 times a week, and you know what I mean. And he was part of the program and all that stuff. So that one hit me so hard. I did not expect it to hit me that hard. As LA fans, what did he mean to you? And what did it explain to me what that emotion was when you found out he passed?
I'll tell you right now, for a week, LA shut down.
Damn.
Radio, I don't give a fuck. It didn't have to be sports radio. It was regular radio, was Kobe all day for a week.
Kobe
Staples
stories.
Center, outside of Staples Center, people were just out there for a week.
Just
out there. They had mariachi out there. They had
flowers. I did see mariachi.
Flowers, bro. LA shut down for a week, bro. And it hasn't stopped. There's murals all over the city, bro. Dude, it's fucking
And I think his daughter already had heat. His daughter already, was going to go to, was it Connecticut?
Yeah,
She was a rising star.
She was a rising star. She was
a legitimate rising star, not just
I think
my daughter's good.
We were talking about the WNBA earlier, and she was going to be, I think, that catalyst to take it to another level.
Yes.
Because there's no way in fuck that kid wasn't going to shine in college.
Yeah.
So there's no way in hell she wouldn't have gone into the WNBA, and then there would have been tickets sold. I think that would have. I mean, look,
that's a big turning point.
It would have been a huge turning point.
And then you would have had the backing of Kobe,
correct,
and his brand, saying, no, we're going to push this women's sport, and I'm going to own the team.
It would have gone to the next level, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that would have happened. That's just my opinion and observation, and that's all it is.
Yeah, I think it was headed that way.
Yeah.
And so that I think was devastating in and of itself. Obviously the loss of both of them. She was a child. She was a kid. You know, you don't want nobody to go. But when it's a kid like that with so much promise and just such a bright future ahead of them.
I think about the drive that Kobe has. I imagine him as your driving force behind you, right? Like him knowing what it takes to get to that level. Yeah. I'm telling you, the only player I ever seen that could emulate MJ was Kobe. I don't care whoever tried, but he did it. He was the only one that had his moves, had his walk, understood what it was like to be a professional. Yeah. Spoke like a professional, walked and talked.
They kept in touch.
Which
was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And so that you have that factor in it, and also I think for me when I found out about it, it was one of those get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And then when you start seeing all the tributes, everybody got choked up.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember shedding tears. Crying. Like, here's a guy it's not like I met this guy. We didn't but you just felt, this grief.
I equate it to when Selena passed. I'd never seen her in concert, but I loved her music. I know I grew up with it. My parents loved it. And I didn't understand the whole Tejano culture. But then, when she passed, I was like, then you see all these tributes and all these people, and they're how well she connected with the people and the following she had. And that's the same thing Kobe had. Yeah. Kobe connected with the people and the city.
They loved him.
And he was part of he was ingrained into the culture, into the city.
Yeah. But he was also ingrained in the NBA. We were just talking on the last show because we did a whole MJ, our favorite moments because his birthday was 60th birthday. And just, I still, the thing that always sticks out to me is how he learned. I don't even know what the hell language it is, Luka Doncic's speech, but he figured it. He learned it because he spoke 8 languages, and he sat there and he's just smack talking Luka behind,
talking shit.
Just
that's
saying whatever,
next level psychological shit.
Yeah, and then Luka was like, "What? What?
Slovenian, is that a thing?
Kobe Bean? What?
I think that's what it was.
Slovenian.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just an incredible human being all the way around. And look, I mean, he's bigger now than he was in life, which is there's people that didn't know or wanted to hate him. You know, where now that he's gone, it's like,
Perfect example.
Shit, why was I hating on this fucking guy? You know,
the whole city, like every culture, I don't give a fuck if you were black, white, Mexican, it didn't matter, Latino, any sort of Latino. Everybody loved Kobe, bro. Like, he ran LA. He could have, there was nothing he could have done. He grew up there, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
like if he would have said, "Hey man, I want to run for mayor," he'd have been mayor of LA.
Don't even vote. It's already just give it to him.
Done.
He says,
And he could have done that shit in his. He would have been a fucking NBA star. Then he would have been. I think he would have coached Gianna. Her whole fucking life.
That,
There's no way. You know, who knows? He might. Imagine him coaching in the WNBA, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
imagine him coaching. It's over. It's over. You want to talk about selling tickets? They're selling more tickets than the Clippers.
And the way that he moved about his business, this is a guy where you could see him coaching and then becoming commissioner.
Yeah.
Right. And then just keep pushing and making
or owning a team for sure.
Right.
For sure, owning a
I mean?
team.
Yeah. But I mean that. Yeah. So, as Laker fans now, you have the current best player in the game, right? "Quote unquote," right? You got LeBron, right?
So I don't like LeBron, but I'm starting to appreciate now that he's older. This is greatness.
I appreciate. I know the stats. I think a lot of the stats come from number one, the era that he plays in, being bigger, faster, stronger.
Also how long he's played.
That's the other thing is the longevity.
injury.
Eventually, you start stacking stats, right? But I mean, like, how do y'all feel about LeBron as a dude who just like he's a team jumper? I mean, he's won everywhere he went.
Yeah.
But I mean, do Laker fans do they really embrace LeBron the way they do other superstars?
I think some do. I will say the younger generation does.
Yeah.
The old school people, all the old school heads, like all the people that grew up with Kobe and Magic and everybody that came before them, Kareem.
They're waiting for the shoe to drop.
There's no way that they are embracing. They'll cheer for that, but they're not going to embrace
he's not
him.
really a Laker.
No, they're not going to embrace him as one of them. But the young kids, that's LeBron, and then there's something magical about kids. Listen, kids love. There's some things that kids, they just come out of the fucking womb loving. Fucking Disneyland, McDonald's, and whoever the goddamn superstar. The kids know what a Happy Meal is before they can talk. Well, I don't know how.
Kids are more fans of individual players now more than they are of teams.
Sure. So I think that they will. So the kids, I think.
Everybody's moving. Everybody jumps.
Everybody jumps. So, but he was the first one to say, "Hey, I'm going there to win."
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that didn't sit. Look, listen, when he did the decision.
Yeah,
and they put so much hype onto it. I mean, it was just
but the thing is that
it made you hate him more.
You never you
100%.
never saw a player of that caliber leave his team
and making an announcement that big.
But I'm telling you,
after going to the finals,
you got to remember the other thing I will say about that. You got to remember he came into the league as an 18-year-old. This is in 2003. 2008, 2009 is when this happened. So he's a young 20s.
He's a child.
He's young 20s, and ESPN's like, you're going to switch, you're going to do this. It was the whole 03 draft class that all got together, right? And they kept on, well, we almost went to Chicago. Bullshit. If you would have came here, Jordan's shadow was still too big at that time. You were not, like, you couldn't be LeBron and come here and then fail.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a business decision.
Especially Dwayne Wade, too, from Chicago.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. Like, nah, I'm good.
And the Raptor himself. Straight from Toronto.
Dude. Yeah, that's what it is, like Magic stayed, won.
Yeah.
Kobe stayed, won. And
what about Shaq? He didn't get as much hate and shade, and he jumped.
But I mean, people love Shaq, but not they love Kobe.
He won his first title with LA, right? That's what it was, and he was there for the three, right? And that's what it was. Is that he left, right? But one of my favorite moments of the Shaq and Kobe beef was always when they went to the finals and lost, and Shaq's out there. Kobe, tell me how my ass tastes, and he's dancing on stage. That's still one of my favorite Laker moments of all time.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you win and leave, that's cool,
right?
But the fact that he didn't win and then left to go win somewhere else.
But he left. But he left. Didn't he? He was in Orlando.
He got traded.
No. I'm talking about LeBron. I went back to LeBron. Why he got so much hate? It's because he never won
in Cleveland.
In Cleveland, he's like, "Oh, this is too hard. I'm gonna leave and make a super team."
And they made a super team. They did make a super team.
Yeah. And that's not the first super team though. people are like, "Oh my God, this is." I mean, look at Houston, right? You had Pippen, you had Barkley, you had Olajuwon. Mm-hmm. You know, you can go to a bunch of different references. There's been super teams. So like
the Lakers tried with Malone and them, and they failed.
Oh, they were paying. Oh,
yeah,
God,
that was brutal, bro.
They were already late.
They were already late,
career.
but it was still considered a super team.
Yeah,
but at that time, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh were pretty much in their prime.
They were only 5 years into the league.
Yeah,
I mean, it was the 03 draft class at 08, 09.
Yeah,
Pippen, when he left to go join them, I mean, how long had he already been?
Oh, he was in his twilight.
Yeah.
I mean, he had already. At that point, he already played with Portland.
Won his championships,
and he played with Portland when he was still good. And then he went to Houston and was like,
we're not talking about Karl Malone on the Lakers. We're not talking about Gary Payton on the Lakers, right? We're talking about Pippen, like you know what I mean? Yeah. That's the difference. They already. Pippen
no. Yeah, these guys were in their prime. That's fair. That's beyond fair. And hey, listen, they fucking killed it, and they were rock stars out there.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they were fucking rock stars.
Yeah, but you
there.
can't show out and be like, "Oh, we're gonna win fucking 5, 6, 7."
That was
right.
And then fireworks and balloons, and it's like, come on,
Wrestle fucking mania, dude.
Yeah, no, it did. It looked like a goddamn carnival.
Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, guys, do you want to take a quick break?
Sure, whatever you want.
Yeah, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with Hooter and Martin after this commercial.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey, this is Mikey O, and you're listening to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast. Don't forget to visit Mikey O at Mikey O Show or www.MikeyOShow.com.
This is Enrique Calderon coming to you from True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast. Come check me out on social media, Enrique Calderon Official on Instagram and Facebook. Check us out.
Y te lo dice
Enrique Calderon.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z. Man, what a great time with the fellas. But wait, there's more. Listen next week for the conclusion of our conversation with Hooter and Martin Moreno from the YoYoYo Podcast. But let's get to it. It's that time again. You know what time it is, fans. It is time for Stirring the Pot. All right, so in honor of Estrella Negra and our boy Otto over there at, what's the address? It is 2346 West Fullerton in Chicago. All right, Estrella Negra, go over there. I recommend you get the mango chicken enchiladas and our Stirring the Pot this week, which is going to be, he has 2 versions of pozole. He has the green version and the red version. All right. Red version's a little bit more spicy, in my opinion. I enjoy a little bit more spice in it. And then the green was really good, very flavorful. Both were made with, I think they both were chicken, but I do know he has a vegan option if you're a vegan or don't eat chicken or whatever that is, you know. But the question is do you do red or green? And in my opinion, I don't think there's a definitive answer. If it tastes good and it's pozole, you eat them both. And let me tell you why. But Otto has this thing called the bandera shot. All right, it is a shot of tequila, and it's half a shot of lime juice, and then it is a full shot of a pozole, the consomme, just the juice of the pozole. And you can either get it in green or red. And let me just say, we partook in both of them, and they were both amazing. So there is no right or wrong answer. What we're telling you to do is go to Estrella Negra over there in Chicago on the corner of Fullerton and Western and get yourself a bowl, a cup of pozole, get yourself the mango enchiladas, the concha burger. There's a lot of great stuff. The tamarindo wings. Everything is really, really good there. The drinks are phenomenal. The beers, they have the 14 anniversary beer. I think it's a tamarind, if I remember correctly. But they have tons of great drinks and great food. Please go over there and support one of our own. And before we get out of here, what are you looking at that isn't sports? Ooh, it's been a rough week for me just because I've been coaching, bowling, podcasting and everything and setting everything up. So for myself, there really wasn't a lot that I was able to watch besides catching up on my shows, which was Picard, which is so far phenomenal, bringing back the old cast. I think there's only 2 episodes out of the new season. 1923, I think I'm behind 1 or 2 episodes on that one. That's part of the Yellowstone universe, so you've got to catch up on that just to know what's going on and how it relates to other families. Anything else I've watched? Oh, Sons of Anarchy is playing on the background right now as I'm recording, and it's been on all week while I've been doing my things here at the house. So there's really nothing. Shrinking is probably the other one that I've talked about it a couple times. That's been playing, but I really want to get to that Chris Rock special. I want to get into what was it? Was it 8th? Was it Atlanta or Snowfall? Snowfall is the other show that I'm going to binge pretty soon. I heard great things about it, especially because I believe it's ending at the moment. And those are the shows that I need to go see. Also, I need to go see Ant-Man Quantumania. I haven't been able to go do that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm thinking this Friday would be a great opportunity for me to do that because I have parent-teacher conferences Thursday and Friday, and Friday I get off early. So it might be a good day to go in the middle of the day and go see that movie. So if you have a Stirring the Pot or a movie or show recommendation, hit me up. You guys know what my handles are at this point. So hit me up and we'll get those recommendations onto the show. All right, y'all, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, Estrella Negra, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 at checkout for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your shirts now. Check out the rest of the 606 Media lineup. The newest show on the 606 family's the No Water on the Weekend podcast with Steven and Sean. It is a pop culture forward podcast that dabbles in funny trivia, film, television, music, and Chicago-centric news and happenings. New episodes available every Monday. I just recorded the latest episode with Steven. Sean is on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so you'll probably hear my voice on that podcast as well. They are on every Monday, available on all platforms, so check out that show. The Shy Native Radio Podcast is now available on all major platforms. Mike, Logic, Ideal, and Throw MC talk about sports, movies, and all types of ill shit. Go and check them out. Shout out to Ronesh, Panic, Serious Beats, and custom made for the beats we played on today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for your moment merch and gear. Check us out on social media. You can find us at True Shy Fans on Twitter and on TikTok. Find us on Facebook, IG, Spotify, and reach out to us on our email. We want to hear from you. Reach us at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right, y'all. For E-Roc, this is Big Z. We'll see you next week for episode 134. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.
I always like to keep my favorite snack handy. Need a little excitement? Step into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
A few moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth. Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos.
Show's over, show's over, show's over.